A big proclamation, and this decision that President Trump has made is likely to impact thousands and lakhs of Indians. The Indian techies are going to be impacted. President Trump has asked for the suspension of H1B as well as the L1 visas. The other temporary work permits are also going to be suspended by the United States, and this is going to continue until the end of this year, which means that thousands and lakhs of techies who had the American dream, who had to go to the United States, their dream will be halted because of this process, this decision that has been taken by President Trump. And this is going to impact the employees who had applied for the visa but have not been given it yet by the United States. Those who already have their visas or those who are currently in the United States are not going to be impacted by this new decision that has been made. For the student community as well, it might come as a huge concern, but it's not going to affect their visas as well. But today we're also going to talk about what is the impact is going to have for the Indian tech companies, the IT companies. How is it going to be impacted? And if the IT companies are impacted, will it impact our economy as well? There's another side of the story as well on how this controversial decision by President Trump is likely to affect United States as well. This decision of President Trump has come in for a lot of criticism. A lot of tech giants have already criticized this move, and this has also been called morally wrong as well as economically stupid decision that has been taken by President Trump. So this is a decision that has been criticized highly, but the White House has said that it's going to go through with this decision, and President Trump has said that this decision has been taken to ensure that those in the United States, the Americans who have lost their jobs because of the coronavirus pandemic, they will have an opportunity to now work. They will get jobs, and this will clear up jobs for them. And that's the reason why this decision has been taken. So what's the impact that is going to have in India, especially the IT companies? How are they going to take this decision? Of course, for the Indian techies as well, this would mean the end of an American dream. It has been H1B visa is one of the most coveted visas across the world. So this is going to impact several employees across the world. Of course, as far as the H1B visas are concerned, it's mostly India that gets a major chunk of the H1B visas. So Indians are going to be affected. But IT companies did see this coming. So the companies were prepared. The employees knew what they were getting into. This is a decision that might not impact the IT companies so much. To talk to us more about that, joining us live is the chairman of Xfinity Ventures, Mr. V. Balakrishnan. Thank you so much for joining us. He's also served as a former Infosys Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Balakrishnan, many thanks for joining us. How do you look at this decision that has been taken by the United States? How do you think it's going to impact the IT companies in India?
No, I think it's a very stupid decision made by the US because this kind of issues keep coming up whenever there is an election cycle in the US. If you look at the facts, the unemployment rate for a technology worker in the US is very low. It's hardly at 3 to 4%. And US have benefited more from the H1 visas than getting impacted because it's able to attract the best talent from across the world. And that is how the whole technology industry in US was built. If you look at the reaction of all the large global company CEOs like Google Sundar Pichai, they're all criticizing this move because US lacks talent. India is the only country which have the scale and quality of talent for the IT industry. So I think by making this move, the US will get more impacted. Today we are in the new normal with the COVID-19. People can work from home. They can work from any part of the world. I think the persist with this decision beyond December, probably it will increase more offshoring because business will move to where talent is available. I don't think business will stop because the US is stopping talent to come to US. I think businesses will move outside US if this thing continues. I think it's a very stupid move. It's a political move. I think after the election cycle is over, I think they will reverse it back.
Okay, so it is not likely to be extended, you're saying?
No, I don't think so because the impact on US is large. US don't have good high quality technical talent. That is a reality. That is clearly visible in the unemployment rate in the IT sector, which is very low. So I think it's more a political decision. It will get reversed after December, after the election cycle is over.
Okay, okay, let's hope so. And like you said that the IT companies in the United States are also going to be infected by this, affected by this. In fact, TechNet has also said, and I quote, they've said that looking forward, technology will continue to be crucial to rebuilding of our economy. And today's executive order only hinders the ability of businesses to look forward in terms of technology, because this is going to cut off skilled labor for these businesses, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think technology is the future. If you look at all the most valuable companies in the US, it's all tech companies. It requires talent. US lacks talent. There are very few countries outside US which has got the scale and quality of talent for IT sector. India is one of those countries. So I don't think they will continue with this decision after the election cycle is over. If they do it, I think it will impact US more than any other country.
Okay, but even talking about the short-term impact as well, not the United States, how badly is it going to affect the Indian IT companies? Was it something that the companies saw coming? Were they prepared for it? If you look at the markets as well today, they've not taken a beating. Is this because we already saw it coming?
Yeah, yeah, they already saw it coming. Most of the companies started localizing the talent. They hired a lot of local talent in the US in the last few years. I think most of them have more than 50% of the resources in the United States being locals. And I think offshoring also increased in the last few years. And today, work from home is a new normal. So whether you sit in an apartment in the US or sit in an apartment from India and work, it doesn't make much difference. So I think the impact on the IT industry is going to be very minimal. They saw it coming. They prepared themselves well. I think, and I also think this move will not continue beyond December. So I think it's more a short-term issue, and I think the impact on the Indian IT industry, which will be very minimal.
Okay, but if it was a few years ago, then I'm sure it would have affected the companies much more. If you can give us insights into how critical onshoring is for the IT companies.
I think a few years back, it would have made a huge impact because if you look at any IT service company, 25% of the workforce is always outside India. Most of the talent went from India all those years, but in the last few years, they saw this coming. They saw the deglobalization happening. They saw countries becoming more close. So they all started localizing their operations. Today, I think most of them have a very good presence in the US. So I don't think the impact will be there in the IT industry.
Okay. Apart from the tech companies as well, if United States takes a harsh decision like this, then do you think the US will also, take off some sheen of its, the name that it has of the destination for education for several students who are applying as well? As of now, their visas might not be impacted. But when they see that work visas are going to be impacted in such a drastic manner, will US lose its sheen?
I think so, because Indians spend close to $4 to $5 billion on education in the US with the thinking that after they complete a graduation, they can get a job there and they can work for some time. If that is going to be impacted in the long term, I think even the student population will start going to other countries. Already we are seeing people going to Australia, people going to Canada. So I think it will have an impact on the US education system too, because the ability to attract foreign students will get impacted. To an extent, the universities will suffer. That's why I think it is a very short-term political decision, and this will go off after the election cycle is over.
Okay, so you mentioned for studies, people looking at Canada, Australia and the other countries. Is it going to be the same for those applying for the visas, work visas as well? They'll look away from United States and to the other countries, because over the last few years, this has been impacted.
Yeah, already people are doing it. If you look at Canada, I think a lot of Indians are moving to Canada now because Canada has got a very good visa regime. They want to attract good talent. They know the other countries have a problem with US. So most of the other countries are opening up. So if US closes the door, there are other opportunities in other countries which people will pursue.
Okay, so would you say this is something that has come as an opportunity for India? India is already talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, so localizing talent is something you spoke about as well. So will this further boost India's ambitions?
No, I think in the IT industry, there's already Atmanirbhar Bharat because all the talent is here. We have the scale. I don't think that is the issue. I think opportunities are there all over the world. If some countries deglobalize and become too close, there are other countries which are open because globally, tech talent is a problem. There are not enough people of good quality and scale, and there are very few countries which has got the supply. So I think India is in a dominant position in the IT industry. And I think they will always have opportunities in other countries if few countries close like this.
Okay. In fact, so much of the innovation that has driven the United States economy and made it a global powerhouse as well has come from immigrants. And this is something that they have admitted to as well. The CEOs have admitted it as well. So would you see this move by the Trump administration as a betrayal?
I won't say betrayal. I think politicians behave in a different way, whether it make economic sense or not during election cycle. It is one of those decisions which is for a different constituent. I don't think it has been taken into account the economic impact on the US or the necessity on the ground. So I think we have to take it as a political decision and move on. It will get changed after the election cycle because ultimately US need talent. That is a reality. And they need to attract good talent if they have to take leadership in the IT industry. So I don't think that is going to change. All normalcy will prevail after the election cycle is over.
Okay. Lastly, I want to ask you, Mr. Balakrishnan, you said it's a political decision, but is this a political decision that might cost President Trump? Do you think this decision might backfire on Trump because Americans are not going to get back these jobs? Trump also had a lot of support from Indian Americans. So is this going to hit him this November?
It could, because Indians are a large community in the US, and they know that some of the family members back in the India are depending on these visas to come there, work there, and make their living. It could have some impact. I don't know how large the impact will be, but I think definitely there'll be some impact because he's hurting one constituency to please another constituency.
Okay. Okay. So your advice to the techies who are applying for H1B visas would be to hang in there, that this is going to be a very short-term decision.
Yeah, it's a very short-term decision. It will go away because it doesn't make economic sense.
Okay, all right. Many thanks, Mr. Balakrishnan, for joining us with your thoughts and expertise on that. So that's the word. This is something that's not going to affect the Indian companies as much as it is going to affect the United States economy. It's a political decision. Yes, for now, on a more of a temporary basis, it might affect several Indians. Those who were applying for the H1B as well as the L1 visas this year might be affected. But this is going to be a very short-term decision. And in the longer run, it is the United States that will pay the price, which means that they will roll back this decision very soon. So that's all we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. I will be back tomorrow with more. Do send us your comments on what you think of this decision of President Trump and whether India will be affected or not. Thank you so much for joining us.